Well, I've got a couple of facts here that I want to roll through that I am assuming are correct, and if they're wrong, would you let us know, just to sort of showcase you guys to people of New Zealand who might not know too much about Vampire Weekend. You guys met while you were studying at Columbia.
That's right.
That's true. Your album debuted at #1 in the United States.
Our latest one.
The latest one, Contra. Yeah, and I read this. I still don't know if it's true though. You've got a rap group on the side.
Well, the band before Vampire Weekend was a rap group.
Yeah.
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 Home Run.
La Home Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
What's the deal with La Home Run? What, a rap group?
I mean, I've been a huge rap fan my whole life. In high school, I made a rap album that I sold to the kids at school. So yeah, I always used to be like freestyling and stuff. And I think in Vampire Weekend, still some of it comes through a little bit. But that was when I first got to college. I started a band with my friend, and Chris was involved, and Rostam was involved too. So that was the first time we really worked on songs together, even before Vampire Weekend started.
Did you ever perform live?
Yeah, we performed live. In fact, once we opened for Clap Your Hands, Say Yeah before anybody had heard of them.
Yeah.
And nobody was there to see us. But
Do you guys remember any of the songs? Could you recite some for us?
well, I don't know if I want to recite them, but our two biggest hits were Pizza Party and Interracial Dating.
I heard Pizza Party. I like Pizza Party.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a stoner jam.
Yeah.
It's about pizza and calzones and getting high.
Yeah.
We definitely can't hear any.
Well,
It needs a beat, and I can't do that.
well, I'll just tell you that the chorus was PIZZAPRTY. If you got a blunt, then we can get high. If you want to come, then pick up the phone. Don't get caught with a whack calzone. So
It's also on YouTube as well, and people are saying, "Oh, this is a Vampire Weekend remix," and the comments are quite interesting to have a look at. And I don't know if it's imposters who are now posing as that group, but they've gone and taken some of your stuff from Contra and done La Home Run versions. Is that you, or is that people who?
Really? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, and they're saying this is official remixes of this is La Home Run.
Oh wow,
doing Vampire Weekend.
There's a lot of crossover between Vampire Weekend and the rap world.
When did you decide it was time to give up your rap careers and get into something else?
Well, I've always liked so many different types of music, but I guess when the four of us came together to start a band, we thought it'd be kind of cool to start like a rock band, but try to do something different. So, I figured that I could still kind of, combine my love of, rap lyrics, but maybe just sing more rather than rap. And I mean, I think in the same way that, like, the production and the way that we play our instruments draws on different things, so do the lyrics and the vocals.
An easy way to prepare an interview at the moment is to go straight to a band's Twitter page and have a look at the stuff that they're talking about, who they're talking to, who they're following, who follows them. I looked you guys up on Twitter, 4,500 followers and nothing to say. There's not a word spoken.
Vampire Weekend one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, we just started that one. We haven't really done anything with it.
We're squatting on our own Twitter page.
Just so that nobody else can take it. 3 of us, not Chris, have, like, personal Twitter pages, but even then, it's like, I think it's only, like, the most hardcore fans follow us. We never, like, made a big thing, like, on our MySpace page, like, follow us on Twitter, so, which is kind of cool. I think we fly under the radar on Twitter.
Pretty cool that you can amass 4,500 without saying anything.
That's true. Maybe we should say something.
It's
tough for a band to have one, because what's the band gonna say? It's understandable, like, what one person has to say. But
yeah. It's giving the band a personality.
Yeah.
Then, doesn't it? What does the band have to say?
Speaking of Twitter, I tweeted yesterday that we were going to be talking to you guys today, and surprisingly enough, I got a lot of replies from girls swooning over the both of you.
Ooh.
Is that something you've always had, or is this...
No, phrase it how you asked me before.
Yeah.
Have girls always thought you were babes?
You mean like going back to...
Well, when you're in high school.
The sandbox.
Yeah.
Well...
You can be honest.
I've always done all right with the ladies, I think. Where I went to high school, I went to like a very small high school in New Jersey, which is kind of a very typical American high school with like everybody's obsessed with the football team and stuff. So I wasn't a jock. I was in like band. I played the saxophone. So I think given that, I did all right.
Yeah.
But I certainly wasn't like the big man on campus. Yeah. I'm the type of guy who does better later in life.
Chris?
Chris was a jock.
I was kind of a jock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is a slightly uncomfortable question. Tell me how much of a babe you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you can be honest with us. But because there are lots of girls that think that obviously now, whether you know it or not, they think you're babes. And I was just wondering if that happened for you.
I
back in
feel
high
like
school
we're probably
as well.
never the people that have self-identified as babes,
Right.
as it were. But I do remember thinking it was funny when I came into high school as a freshman. My sister got pissed off because some of her friends thought I was cute. So.
You never went there though, did you?
What's that?
Did you ever go out with any of your sisters?
You kidding me? They were 3 years older than me.
That'd been
What am I
awesome.
gonna say?
The music for a second, with Contra going to number one, and not just going to number one, debuting at number one, what sort of that's the sort of thing that's reserved for a massive Justin Timberlake album or something with huge commercial push behind it. What do you think came together for you guys to go directly to number one, for that to happen?
Well, it's a lot of things. I mean, we're on an independent label. It was our label's first number one in America, so that was pretty cool too. So I think partially it's the semi-decline of major labels. I won't say that major labels have fallen off, because obviously they still have all the money and they still have a lot of the power, but they're not quite as powerful as they used to be. So it's a cool time, because it means that bands like us and labels like ours can kind of like slip in and actually have some commercial success. So that's part of it, but also just, I don't know, I guess I feel like we're the type of band where we've never had like a proper like hit single. I mean, we've had, some songs are relatively bigger than others, but I feel like our fans are really into like buying the album. So, that's part of it. You can look at, there's other people who've sold like way more singles than us, but they maybe haven't sold more albums than us. So maybe we're just kind of an album band, which is, I think, the best thing to be. It means that your fans like believe in you enough that they're willing to buy the whole record and assume that it's not just 2 good songs and the rest is horrible.
I think that you're right with that. I think you have that relationship with your fan base where they would support you to the actual going to a store and buying an album, whereas a lot of fans of
I think part of that
throwaway
also
artists
comes
these days
from
wouldn't.
the fact that we toured the whole of the United States twice before it came out, and then a few times after. And I think that a lot of people, when they came out to a show, they kind of felt like ownership in some way, where like, they were discovering us and helping us, play bigger venues and something like that. So I think that when it came time for our second album to come out and that they heard about it, I think they remembered the show and, maybe they met us or whatever, but I think that they felt like they were a part of it. And ultimately I think that that would inspire a lot of people to go out and want to support us, which is great.
Speaking of your label, you're on the same label as the White Stripes, yes?
Yeah, we're on XL.
Is there a sort of kinship there, being on a smaller label than one of the majors? Is there a bit of sort of kinship between bands that are on the same label? Do you know the White Stripes?
I've met Jack once. Jack said, "What's up?" at the catering.
We opened for the Racket Tours in
Is there
Turin, right? It was Turin.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of in Cornwall.
Oh, Cornwall.
And he said, "What's up, fellas?" So not like super well, but
Yeah.
He seems like a nice guy.
what I mean is, there's not like an XL Christmas party where all of the artists are there. It's not that small, is it?
No, it's not that small, and also not everybody's on XL like in all the different countries. That can get different. But in England, we have met a lot of the people who are on the label, and I mean even just beyond that, I think we've met a lot of the people who are just kind of in the same like general universe as us musically, because we were just at Coachella, which is this huge festival in Southern California, and I just kind of realized like we do kind of almost know everybody at this, because when we first started out and people would be like, "Oh, what's it like being from New York or like from America?" All these bands would be like, "No, we don't know any of them." But then you go on tour and you play festivals and you know everybody. So we were there, and I just realized like, yeah, at this point we've known like Dirty Projectors, Beach House, Yesayer, MGMT. We've known all those people for years, kind of. So there is, I think, this shared experience of being in a band and being on tour, that there's always like something natural for you to talk about.
Are you fans of MGMT?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the new record.
Do you prefer the new record or the previous record?
It's a tough one. Right now I'm more into the new record because it's new, and I didn't know what I was gonna think of it, but when I saw them at Coachella and I seen like all the new songs live, I was really psyched on it. So right now, I think it is kind of a step in the right direction. Yeah. Because like as we know, making a second album is very difficult, and I think I think they've kind of proven with their second album that they're like a band that's always going to be making something that's good.
Yeah. Are you aware of how cool vampires are at the moment?
Well, I think we are. I've seen both Twilight movies.
Yeah.
But I think that we named ourselves, I think, well before that.
Yeah.
It was a cultural thing.
We started it.
We were ahead of our time.
Well, you did.
We were ahead of our time.
Trendsetting. Except unless you count Dracula.
Wow.
Count Dracula.
Yeah, but that was like a different wave, I think, of vampire.
This is third wave.
Mania. This is third wave vampires.
Are you happy to have a loose tie into sexy vampire hype?
Yes, I think it's a nice and loose. If it was too tied to it, things might get kind of complicated. But you know what? I like Kristen Stewart, and
some people say I look
The
like Robert
dudes.
Pattinson.
Hey, no, there's a look. I can see that kind of. Yeah. I hate to point this out, but, just to take it away from Twilight, the Vampire Weekend came from a movie you guys made.
We started
an amateur
to make.
movie?
It was a very amateur movie that I started to make just when I was at my parents' house one summer in college, and filmed it for about 2 days and gave up.
Did you not finish it?
Oh, definitely not.
Is it the sort of thing that if you went back to finish it now, the second act of the movie would have you looking completely different? You'd have a different haircut and you'd look 3 years older, or...
Oh yeah, that would be true of all the characters. And also we need to figure out what was going to happen because we were just making it up as we went along. So there is a trailer. You can find the trailer if you look online. That's all we had enough footage for, was the 2-minute trailer.
Because I was going to say, is this something that you were maybe thinking about doing? Maybe you wanted to direct or whatever, but no, it was just something to fill in the space in the holidays?
Kind of. Maybe one day. I mean,
If we get another #1 album and get a studio to greenlight something.
Vampire Weekend the movie. That'll be the end of the vampire craze.
But
Gotta put a nail in its coffin.
But it inspired a lot of stuff for your latest album, didn't it? Walcott, maybe? My favourite
That was the
Walcott?
first.
Oh yeah, on the first
album.
record. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Walcott was the name of the main character, so Walcott the song is kind of about that guy leaving Cape Cod. So yeah, it's not unrelated.